Hi everyone, I'm Daphne, this is Paper Station, and we are in week 3 of Inktober, so today is the day I'm going to do my flip through for week 2. And I also wanted to talk a little bit about my process and how I work every day. It's still hard, it still takes a lot of time, but I'm enjoying it, and I think it's giving me a lot new skills and the experimenting and realizing things about my, drawing, sketching, patterns and everything. So I think we'll go work on the flip through first. So this is day 8. The prompt, this is an official prompt. It was a star, and I found a reference image of a little jar and origami lucky stars that I really liked because I actually make origami lucky stars, so this was a pretty simple sketch. Then day 9 was another Zandala sketch, a pattern which I did with a purple gel pen. I like especially these designs to use a little bit of color on them so that they won't just be black pen on white paper. Now, day 10, another official prompt. This was flowing, and I had this in my mind from the beginning of the challenge that I wanted to do something like this, and this is one of my favorite images of the challenge so far. It's this is a metallic pen, if you can see it in the light. It's basically an image of a Chinese wave pattern that I copied and made into a little pattern for my Inktober, and I'll show you a bit more about how I did this, because it took a lot of time and a lot of planning to actually turn out the way I imagined that it was going to turn out. So that was day 10. Now day 11 was very simple. I wanted to experiment a bit with with drawing banners. These are useful for like bullet journaling or sketch notes or things like that, and I don't really use them that much in my bullet journal, but I wanted to experiment and see like different shapes and sizes, so this was fairly simple. Day 11. Now day 12, another official prompt. This was whale. This was very challenging. It took a lot of time to like plan and do the sketch and find the whale and what kind of whale, and then I made a mistake and I had to try and fix it. I found a sketch where someone had drawn, a circle and a whale at the bottom of the circle, and then waves and mountains and a night sky, and I really liked it. I didn't want to straight out copy that person's design, so I kind of took some elements from it and tried to do my own. It's kind of surprising when I look at this that I actually managed to draw this. It kind of helps, this challenge has helped, because I never really did any drawing and sketching like on a regular basis, so it kind of helps to rediscover skills that I had but I've never really developed, and it gives me a lot of motivation to try and develop them more, which is really great. Day 13 was another Zandala design, and basically this was the design, the top left, and I thought when I started drawing it, I thought it's really simple. I'm not really sure I want to fill a whole page with this, so I did some variations, and I divided my piece of paper in 4 panels, and I did 3 variations on the original design, which is pretty cool, and it's kind of interesting to see what you can do with different like doodle designs. And day 14, another official prompt. This was clock, and I wasn't sure what I wanted to draw for this one. I was thinking like maybe a pattern with clocks, fill my whole page with clocks, but I googled various clocks that I had in my mind, like cuckoo clocks, or maybe grandfather clocks, maybe a sundial. And then just Google Images showed me that there are steampunk clocks, and I was like, this is it. So I found this one. This was really challenging to get it right. Like there was a lot of erasing and sketching, and then erasing again and putting things on the right, in the right proportions and then in the right positions. I'm not entirely happy with how it turned out with the colors. But it was really fun to sketch and to try and, you know, render the image that I found in Sketch. So this was really fun. It took a lot of time. It was kind of frustrating that it looked so good in the picture, but I couldn't manage to make it, you know, as good as a sketch. But it still was really fun, and I would like to experiment more with drawing, like cogs and these kind of mechanisms and steampunk sort of things. So that maybe is a theme I'd like to like explore a little bit more. So in terms of my process, so this is my notebook, but I rarely draw straight onto the notebook. This I did straight on the notebook, like the pencil sketching and then lines with fine liners and then the color, because on the back page I have this which is glued on. It's another piece of paper, so I knew that it wouldn't, I mean, it's kind of showing through here, but I knew it wouldn't have a problem on the back page. So most of the sketches are done on different type, you know, different piece of paper, which I then glue on my notebook because its paper isn't that thick, and I can't afford to leave pages blank because I'm not going to have enough room to finish the month. So basically, I have this big notebook, which is a dot grid notebook, and basically I work on this, like I put my notebook on, or I have my piece of paper on here, and it helps because I can experiment. Like, for example, these were the initial sketches for the tiles from the previous week, and then I put little post-its when I had done drawing, so I knew how many I had left and which ones. And then I do like little pen tests here, like the colors. And then, for example, the next page, I have some like crude little sketches for the origami stars and some test sketches for the patterns just to see how they look. And then color tests for pens, things like that. And then we come to the wave pattern, which took a lot of preparation and a lot of work. So basically what I did is that I took all my blue pens and markers and fine liners, and I did a whole bunch of little color tests just to see the different colors. Like, for example, these were too green, so I didn't use them. Well, others were like the same color, so I just picked one. Okay, I have a visitor. You can see his paw on the top of the screen. Anyway, so I did little tests just to see the you can see here the combination of the colors and which ones are going to go first. Like, for example, I saw this one here, it's darker than the other one, so this one would have to go first. And there was a lot of back and forth until I found the right combination. So that, and I think, yeah, and then again here I tested the variations just so that I was sure that they looked okay before I committed to putting them on the page. And then I played with some markers that I had just to see the right colors for the clock. So basically this is what goes on behind the scenes for Inktober. There's a lot of testing, a lot of experimenting. It helps because I have a lot of materials that I don't really use, markers, gel pens, things like that. So it's an opportunity to, you know, pull them out and use them. So yeah, this is basically my sort of basis on, you know, how to do things. And I use a lot of grid paper for the doodles, like these ones here. And then I have another paper pad with blank paper, which I use for the other sketches if I need. And that's basically it. If you have any questions, feel free to leave me a comment, and of course subscribe, and check out my Instagram where I post a lot of, there are stories about my process every day with Inktober, and they're all in the highlights section of my profile if you'd like to see past days. And of course I post a photo of every design every day and a lot of updates about how Inktober is going. So I hope this video was interesting and useful for you, and we will talk soon.